first question when you come to such a meeting, or when you go to a workshop, or you go to a lecture or whatever, or class, many people ask themselves questions about the teacher. Is he like that? What is his credentials? And so on. Many people ask the questions about the class. Is it advanced enough for me? Or is it too advanced for me? But there is one question that few people ask. And these questions is about themselves. And I call these questions, how teachable am I? How open am I to receive? You probably all heard about the Zen story with the full cup or the empty cup. When the Zen master tells the philosopher, he tells him that he cannot give him his wisdom because his cup, his mind, is full with information, full with knowledge, full with models about the universe, about life, about everything. So, how do you know the answer to these questions? How open are we to receive, to learn something new, something really new? This is the questions. How can I know? So if we want to know how teachable are we have to address an ancient art that is forsaken for so many years, and this is the art of listening. Listening is an art. It is not something you do just because you have ears on the side of your faces. It's an art, and it's a deep, deep wisdom that is within listening. Listening is almost everything. But how? And what do I mean when I say to listen? Well, there are three levels of listening. One is hearing. And for hearing, it happens because you have ears. The things you hear, some of them you are conscious of, and some of them you are not. But you hear them anyway. So hearing is not focus. It's more a thing that happens to you than something that you do. And you know, when you want to say to someone, I don't want to listen anymore, what do you say? Yeah, I hear you, I hear you. I hear you, but I don't listen. So the next level is listening. Listening is like when you want to listen to a podcast or a radio, something like that. Then you turn your ear to a specific source and you do it on purpose because you're interested in the information that is broadcast from this source. You're interested in the information. That doesn't mean that you are going to do something different because you have a new information. It's interesting, but there is no commitment. There is no commitment to change. There is no commitment to apply. There is no commitment to do something with it. And then we come to the true listening. There is a special word in Hebrew, it's called keshev, but there is no parallel word in English, so the best best words that I can describe this deep listening is paying attention. Paying attention, it means that you listen with the heart. You listen with the heart and with the intention to use the information that you are receiving in order to transform your life or transform yourself, in order to change. So deep listening entails a great will to change, to transform, to apply the knowledge or the wisdom that is giving to you through that source. So if we want to reach the third level of paying attention, we have to be aware for the process of listening. And if we look at the way we listen, not intellectually, but watch ourselves as we speak. Watching is not only with the eyes, watching is with the ears as well. And the old sages of the mystics in Judaism, they told us two advices to do that. The first one is in Hebrew, it's "Iyu oznecha shomot ma shepicha medaber," which in roughly translated means let your ears hear what your mouth is speaking, which means that we listen to ourselves as we speak. We listen to ourselves as we speak, as someone else would listen to this speech. Because we want to find in this talking, we want to find if there is exaggerations, or to find if we are missing some parts or hiding some parts, not saying them really. If we are our own censors, not allowing some things to express themselves. We want to fight about it. We want to make the unconscious conscious. This is one way. Through listening to our speech and in fine-tuning, you can also learn a lot from the tone, from the voice, not only for the choosing of words and phrases. You can learn a lot from that too, but you can learn from the voice, from the tone, from the frequency of your own voice. Some people don't like to hear themselves. There's a problem there. So that's one practice, to listen, to watch, to observe your own speech by listening to it. A deeper practice that was given to us by the old sages was to listen. It's in Hebrew, it means v'chashov adibur beterem totzio mipicha. It means think about or hear the speech while it is still inside your head. So all people hear voices in their head, but they don't tell the others because, it's not so good to tell others that you hear voices in your head. You may find yourself in a place you don't want to be. But we all hear the voices in our heads, all the thoughts that we think eventually, or to begin with, there are voices inside our head, and we can listen to them almost exactly as we listen to the speech that leaves our mouth, our lips. If you go inside to deep paying attention to the thoughts as they manifest in your conscious mind, you can hear the voices of the thoughts and identify the same things that you identified when you watched your speech outside. You will identify before you speak it, before you let it out of your mouth. And then if you want to correct, you can correct and there is no consequences. Because if you are not correct, talk exactly, then there are consequences. If you exaggerate, there are consequences. If you miss out phrases and words, there are consequences. But if you do it, if you are aware of it before you speak out, then you free yourself from the karma, you can say, of this speech. So this is two practices from the old sages. But how and through which models we can look and identify? How is the quality of my listening now? What is the quality? Am I really paying attention? Or maybe I'm listening, I'm interested, but without any commitment. And maybe I'm just hearing and I'm thinking about something else right now. So, what is the purpose? What is your intention? This is what you have to think about. What is the purpose in this action of listening? What intention do I carry while I'm listening? So if I'm listening for information, I remind you now what this Nobel Prize winner, Herbert Simon, he said, what information consumes is rather obvious. It consumes the attention of its recipients. If you are looking for information, you will be flooded with information. There's so much. There is a flood of information. And you will be flooded with information. And this information will occupy your mind so you don't have the energy needed to pay deep attention. So information consumes you, consumes your energy. And if you are listening for information, what you are doing is looking to verify and build upon what you know. We think about what we are hearing as we are hearing it. What are we thinking about? We're making decisions. It's amazing. The human mind and its capabilities is amazing. We can do so many things together. We can supposedly listen, and while we are listening, we are making a lot of decisions. You know, when you look at someone else, it's a matter of seconds before you set your opinion, and you don't know yet, but you set an opinion upon him based on many intervals, but it's a process that takes a few seconds. And this man will need, or woman will need, months or years to convince you otherwise. So you make a judgment in a few seconds, And the other man will make an effort of months and years to change this a few seconds judgment. So what are the decisions that we are making if we are looking for information and we are listening through in the purpose and the intention to receive information? So the decision is whether or not we agree with it. If you are listening to information that you want to verify what you already know. So you're listening through this screen or through this model or through these questions if you agree or not. That's the first thing you decide. The second thing is where it fits into our cognitive structures or models of reality. Because when you hold your model of reality, your tunnel view of reality, and everything you see, you want it to fit into your model. If it doesn't fit, maybe you will have to change your model of reality. And this is one thing most of us don't want to do. So everything should fit our model of reality or cognitive structure. The other thing that we decide when we listen and looking for information, if it doesn't fit, why not? If it doesn't fit, why not? And the answers to that questions can be, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he doesn't have the degree or whatever. And then the next decision comes is whether to accept or reject it. And if or how we're going to apply it, and etc., etc., etc. So many decisions and good questions. Good questions. All of the questions are very good. But when you make these questions and deal with them in the process of listening, you are not listening. You can ask these questions later if or how to apply the wisdom that was shared with you. If you accept or reject, you can do it, but not while the process is running, not where you are still listening. So this is one listening, and it's like this because the purpose and the intention was focused about the information. And information, as I mentioned, consumes the energy of paying attention. And the more you get more and more information, the less attention you will have to give. So you can be focused for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and after a while, after 15 minutes, your attention is dropping and dropping, and the level of your attention is going down the drain. Because the first intention was to get information. And this is the nature of information. It consumes the power of attention. So the next, and this is the advice, to look for that. This is the right, so-called right attention, right intention, and purpose is to listen for insight. What we are looking is not information and insight. We talked about the difference between wisdom, that the source of the wisdom is from within, and between the intellectual knowledge, that its source comes from without, from others. So now we are listening for insight, for the wisdom that rises from within. Because we remember that we are manifestations, instruments of that great one consciousness, we have the quality of that one consciousness inside us, rooted inside us. And we can communicate with this deep wisdom of the universe. It's in us. So when you listen for insights with the purpose of insights, you are creating a space for an intuitive knowing. It is not the intellectual knowledge. It's knowing, it's not knowledge. It's two different things. Knowledge is something that is separated from you. There is you, the knower, and the knowledge. But intuitive knowing, it means that what you know, it's what you are. There is no difference between what you know intuitively and what you are. So this intuitive knowing, as I said, is already, it's already exists within our consciousness. And we can allow, by this deep listening with this still mind, we can allow this consciousness or this deep wisdom to emerge more fully into our awareness. When I say awareness, I mean the conscious mind. And this deep wisdom comes from the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is one with the one consciousness, because it doesn't have the illusion of separateness. So this only can happen when we put our existing conceptual models of reality to one side and allowing ourselves to be impacted. But why? About what we are listening to, which means to be touched by it, to let the words or the wisdom or the intuition really touch us deeply. Let it excite us. So this is the two different approaches or intentions or purposes in the art of listening. There is a question. I see that I have to, there is a question that we have to ask ourselves when we are listening in order to observe our listening. And then this is, am I listening like most people do in order to confirm what I already think? Or am I listening in order to discover something new? To use the art of listening, you have to be very courageous, very brave. I never thought that way until I read what I'm going to cite for you now. It's from an author, Anthony de Mole, and the book is called Stop Fixing Yourself. And he's talking about something that really moved me. That's why I want to read it to you. So this is something really exciting. What is really paying attention? And he says that an openness to the truth, no matter what the consequences, no matter where it leads you, and when you don't even know where it leads you. Trust. More than trust. That's faith. Not beliefs, but faith. Your beliefs give you a lot of security. That's why people build belief systems. It gives them security. But faith is insecurity. You don't know. You're ready to follow, and you are wide open. You are ready to listen. So readiness to listen, paying close attention, is an act of bravery because you don't know where wisdom will take you. You can never know what the intuitive knowledge will lead you towards. It can say, move away from your home, go there. There is something awaits you far away. There is a journey, a hero journey that you have to embark upon. And you just want to stay cozy in your home, in your comfort zone. So listening or paying attention to wisdom is an act of bravery, and it's almost a rebellion act against reality.